Let me tell you a story that I see played out all the time while I'm driving. A couple that I'll call Mike and Karen, they had a furnace that was getting a little bit older. It was still working, but it was a little noisy and it wasn't as smooth and even as it used to be, but nothing felt urgent. Life was busy, kids, work, plans, so this stayed on the back burner. And then it broke. Not gently, it and not conveniently. It just quit. It stopped during a cold snap late one evening when the house was already dropping in temperature. Suddenly, it wasn't about options anymore. It was about getting the heat back on. I'm sure you can understand that. They called around. Availability was limited. Every conversation felt rushed. Everyone had an opinion. Faster is better. Bigger is better. The messages they kept hearing was, this is what we can do right now. At that moment, nobody was talking about the house. Nobody was talking about how the house was acting and how it felt room to room. Nobody was revisiting past complaints. Nobody was asking about if there was anything that had been bothering them about the system before. The only thing that was important to them now was getting it fixed so that they could get some relief. So they said yes, and then the system was installed. The heat came back on. Everyone could breathe again at first. Then a few months later, things started to show up a little bit. The system cycled on and off more often than they had expected. The airflow was louder than they thought it would be. Summer came along and the cooling felt uneven. Nothing was technically wrong, but nothing felt quite right. That's when the regret started to creep in a little bit. Not because the equipment was bad, because it wasn't. But it was because the decision that they had made was done under pressure. What locked them into a system that was because it was broke down, it was the timing. When something fails at the wrong moment, choices shrink. Conversations shorten. Judgment gives way to urgency. And once a system is installed, you're living with that decision for as long as you own that house. This is why I always say the most expensive HVAC decisions aren't always about the money. They're about when the decision was made. If Mike and Karen had talked about their options 6 months earlier, nothing would have felt rushed. They could have weighed comfort versus cost, noise versus efficiency. They would have chosen with clarity instead of with relief. Breakdowns don't just take away heat or cooling, they take away your leverage. The safest HVAC decisions are made when nothing's wrong. When you still have time to think, time to compare, time to decide what actually fits your home and what actually fits your life. Because once urgency shows up, you're no longer choosing freely, you're actually reacting. And that's how one breakdown can quietly lock you into a wrong decision. If this story feels familiar, it's because it happens quietly over thousands of homes every winter. And most people don't realize it until the decision is already behind them. My goal is to help you see these moments before they corner you, not after. So hopefully this helps you a little bit. So, if you can, kind of look at these things, plan ahead a little bit, and you'll be in a better position in the long run. Might even save a little bit of money. Stay comfortable, but please stay tuned.